What's up, everyone? College football tips here, and we are back with the Week 11 pre-breakdowns of the top 25 games. So, without further ado, here we go. All right. So I know last week was a little weird because they were flipping it from like an AP to a college football playoffs, and I think, if I'm not wrong here, it's back to the same. It was like 1 week where it was like odd. No, it's still yeah, it's a little weird. Okay, it's like 24 is Kentucky on here. 24 is yeah. Okay, so it is a little off, but we're not gonna go with the we're not gonna go with what it is on the AP poll, because AP poll's just it's different now. This is the only one that really matters, is the actual scores here, or the actual ESPN ones. So we're gonna go with this one, and without any further in depth on that, we'll go 25, which is Washington versus Oregon. Penix, man, he's thrown so much. He's done literally everything this whole season, but Washington just isn't there. Bo Nix, man, he's been playing fantastic. Their run game's good. They got great receivers. It's in Oregon. It's hard not to like Oregon in this game. And honestly, by 13 is a pretty good, reasonable spread on the game. So I would go probably Oregon by 13 to 15, 16 points, just because Oregon's a good team, but Washington's not bad. So it's going to be a closer game than people think, but 13 is about what I would say it is. Number 24, it is, let's see if I can find it. All these are kind of confusing. There may not be, it's Kentucky. Okay, all right. Now that I think about it, I think everybody should be off their buys by now, so it should be fine. But Kentucky and Vanderbilt's terrible. They're 0-5. Kentucky's 3-3. Vanderbilt's terrible. Levis isn't a bad quarterback, and apparently I didn't even know this, but he's really in the top for Kiper's board, and I'm kind of surprised because I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. I mean, I think he's good, but he's not like Heisman good or first round pick good. But he's good enough to destroy this game, which is why Kentucky's favored by 18. I think they'll win probably more than that. I think they'll win probably 20 plus, just because Vanderbilt's not that good of a team. So Will Levis is going to pass well. They're going to run well. Good defense, everything. So Kentucky by probably 20 up is what I'd have to say. 23 is Florida State. They are playing Syracuse. I'm actually a little surprised. I think just because Syracuse is not a bad team, and neither is Florida State, but Syracuse kept it close with they played a hard last 3 games because they're on a 3-game lose streak right now. They lost to Notre Dame, they lost to Pitt, and then they lost to Clemson. All those games are hard ones for them to win. This one might be another one of those hard ones for them to win. I do think it'll be close. That's why it's 7 points, which is pretty accurate. But if Sean Tucker can get going, then I think Syracuse can win this one. So I'm going with a slight upset of 3 points for Syracuse. Personally, I just feel like that could happen if Sean Tucker is on the money on this. So it could be a good game there. So Florida State, we'll keep an eye on that one. Number 22 is UCF and Tulane. This should be a fun game, not going to lie. Surprisingly, neither of them are actually in the Power 5, but a pretty substantial fun game I think that could happen. Tulane's 8-1, 5-0 in the American. UCF is 7-2. They just came off a win, I think, against Cincinnati or SMU or one of those teams. I'm not entirely sure. We'll check it right now. SMU. That's who it was. Okay. Yeah. Or no, it was Memphis. Cincinnati a couple weeks ago. Okay, yeah, but either way, UCF is not a bad team. So them getting a win here, I could easily see. I think they're going to have favored probably Tulane by 1.5 points. I think UCF is going to kill them. I think it's going to be by, I don't say kill. I use that word a little too much. I think it's going to be a lot different than people think. I'm going for another upset. I'm going UCF by 7. I get Tulane's 8-1, but I like to see more. And if Plumlee really goes off like he should, the quarterback here, then UCF's going to get the win. So I think UCF by 7. All right, moving on to 21, which is where is 21? Illinois, coming off a loss to Michigan State. You know, that loss was pretty hard, but Michigan State's not a bad team per se, you know, and Illinois has been on a roll except for that last game. So I mean, I got to give it to Purdue. No. Well, Purdue beat... You can't really compare those because I know Purdue, I think, beat Michigan State. If I'm not wrong. They've beaten a lot of weird teams that they... I don't know. I know they didn't even play them. They're just not a bad team. You know, they barely lost to Penn State, barely lost to Syracuse. So it's weird to kind of put Purdue on this level here. But it's in Illinois. I think Illinois should win this one. As they do have it there by 7 to 10 points, I think. So, you know, if they got a good, or not good, they have a great run game, so that it should be pretty easy for them to get the run game going there. See, jeez, I didn't even realize 13-44. That's insane. But yeah, no, if their run game's on point, Illinois is going to kill them. So 7 to 10 is what I'd say. Notre Dame at Navy for 20. Notre Dame, I think, is going to easily win this one by 17, 20 points. Notre Dame, they started off slow, just like LSU. Started off on a bad roll. Both had complications with coaches and stuff like that and quarterbacks and everything. It's like, oh, what's going to go on here? But, you know, then they kind of got back onto the rhythm, back onto, like, the horse, per se. They're gonna win this one. I think they're going to win this by 30. They're not 30, my bad. Oh, God. No, by 20. I like Navy, but they're not going to win this one. So by 20 is about where I think it is. A little more than what they have it here for the odds. But Notre Dame by 20. Sorry, I'm really, really tired today. It's pretty late right now. So anyway, moving on 19, K-State versus Baylor. I'm actually a little surprised Baylor's favored. I don't think Baylor's as good as people think they, you know. They're 4-2 in the Big 12, which I get. But K-State's also 4-2. K-State can pull off some big wins. Last week, you know, it was very close. Extremely close for Texas to, they keep doing that in the second half where it's like they're winning and then they let the guys come back and it's just like, oh, geez, why? But, K-State couldn't get it done on that, but I think they will get it done here. I think Deuce Vaughn is going to have a big game this game. Baylor usually isn't a hard place to play in because a lot of people don't go to those Waco games. But if... That's really hard. I can see why it's 2.5. I mean, personally, I think I'm going to go K-State just because of what they've done already this year with Oklahoma State, other teams. You know, they played well. If they can get their run game really good, then they're going to win this one by 7 points is what I'd say. 7 to 10 points, I think, for K-State if they can have a good run game. Moving on to Game of the Week is how everybody's putting it, and I'm putting it as that too because I don't care. TCU versus Texas, and this is in Austin, you know. Oh, man, 7:30 at night. I'm so excited because it has had a good primetime college football game. Last one was Texas and LSU, so this was, or LSU at Texas, so this is, I was at that one too, so that was pretty cool. But this is another one of those where, oh man, it's going to be fun. College game day is going to be there. You got Bijan, you know, Ewers, and Duggan, man. Duggan's great for TCU. He's been running around, passing it, but personally, I mean, I just feel like TCU isn't as good as people are saying. You know, they're 4-0 or they're 9-0, they're fourth in the nation, but they just haven't shown that they can really get it done. You know, if you look at their scores here, I mean, you got going to double OT with OK State. You know, you got a somewhat good blowout win against Oklahoma. That slight win against Kansas, SMU winning by 10-ish. You know, I don't even know, Tarleton, you know, of course they're going to kill that one. But barely winning against Texas Tech, 10 points plus for West Virginia, barely beating out K-State. they've all been pretty close, and sooner or later they may drop an L here, and I hope, because I'm a Texas fan, you guys know. I'm hoping, but I'm thinking it could be this game. Texas has too much to ride on this game for them to want to lose. Personally, I think if we get on a roll here, if Bijan can get on a roll here, I think we can win by 7 to 14 points. Just because, our first half team is insane. I swear Texas's first half, we are easily a first half team. But if our defense can hold up in the second half, we can play call well in the second half, then Texas can hold this one down and win this one. But it all depends on Sark, and it depends on how the offense is running in the second half and the first half. And it all depends on how well they can contain Duggan, because Duggan is shown to be a very good runner. So we'll see how that is. I mean, they do have Gary Patterson as a defensive analyst for Texas, and he was the coach for TCU for years. So we'll see how that goes. 17, we went over. 16 is NC State. I think they are going to obliterate Boston College. NC State won last week. I forget exactly. I think it was Wake Forest. Yeah. Their defense held up, like I said. If their defense holds up again, they're going to really lay it on Boston College. 19 points is the spread, so 20 plus probably, if their defense really goes all out, because I know NC State's defense can do it. So I like to see how their defense plays in that one. 15 here is North Carolina. I think this is terribly spread. I get it 7:30 at night, and it's in Wake Forest, but North Carolina is a sleeper, guys. North Carolina is a massive sleeper. Oh, jeez, I didn't even realize May is their leading rusher. Man, he's a dual threat. I mean, he's their leading rusher, their leading passer, 31 TDs, almost 3K passing yards, 500 rushing yards, 4 TDs. Man, that's insane. He's in the Heisman talks now, and he's underrated for it too. So you know what? I think North Carolina is going to kill Wake Forest. I'm saying right now, I think North Carolina will kill Wake Forest. This might be a very overestimation on my part, but I think 7 to 14 points for North Carolina. So massive upset on this one. I think people are going to be surprised by the score. And North Carolina is a real threat. They're 5-0 in the ACC, and their only loss is to somebody somewhat smaller, which was Notre Dame, if I'm not wrong. I'd like to see it real quick. I want to say it was Notre Dame. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it was Notre Dame. Yes. That's a stupid lose, too. It's Notre Dame. I mean, Notre Dame is a blue blood program, so I like that loss for them. That's not a bad loss on my part. If I just out of everything, so North Carolina, I think is going to win this one really easily. 14, we got Penn State. Oh, man. And they're in Penn State, and it's at 3:30 in the afternoon. Maryland, you guys are going to have some problems. Tagovailoa, Tulia, I don't even know how to say his brother's name. But to his brother, he's been playing okay. 2,000 passing yards, 14 TDs. But Penn State, man, their run game is going to be on point. I think they will. They'll score more. Sean Clifford's, I think, a better quarterback than Tagovailoa. So I think Penn State's really going to get it done. They've been showing that they can play pretty well, except for that loss against Michigan. That was a bad loss on their part. But I think they're going to get it done. 10-plus points, pretty good spot, I would say, for Penn State. But I think they're going to give this one good. 13, we got Utah and Stanford. Utah's going to obliterate them. They're at home. Stanford's just a pretty bad team. I think Stanford got upset, or they upset somebody. I don't know. Either way, I don't think Stanford's as good as people. Or no. I mean, everybody knows Stanford's not that good this year. But, I do think that Utah's way better than everybody is saying. Better than... Well, not that everybody's saying that Utah's bad, but I do think they're one of the better teams in the Pac-12. I think they'll get it done. I think they'll run well. They'll pass well. They'll play defense well against Stanford. Stanford's not going to be able to do anything. I think Utah 17 points is a little more accurate than 24, but they will still win this one. UCLA is an interesting team. They are 8-1. Arizona's pretty damn bad, but Arizona's been keeping it kind of weirdly close. I get they don't have their, oh, that's Arizona State, but I get they don't, they haven't really been, they've been keeping it close to certain teams. Like Utah, they kind of kept it close for a little bit there, same with USC, and then they pulled away. Same with Oregon, they pulled away. But obviously UCLA's gonna win this one. They have DTR. They're in UCLA Stadium, so yeah, they're gonna win. UCLA will easily get it done. I think by 15 points though is a little better than 20. So moving on to 11. I don't know where 11 is. Is it Ole Miss? I don't even know where 11 is. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, this is this week. Bama at Ole Miss. After that loss to LSU, everybody's talking trash about Bama right now, and I think it's a little bad. Like, I don't think they're as bad as people are saying. Like, oh, is it all over for Bryce Young and all the Bama, and the era of Saban? No, it's not over. They lost 2 slightly close games. One went to overtime in Death Valley at 7:30 at night. One was the final kick of the game against one of the top 3 teams in the nation. You can't hold these 2 losses against Bama, but you can in terms of playoff hopes. But you can't hold them in terms of future hopes. But in terms of this game, Bama's going to win, I think. Revenge game. Bryce Young's, I think, going to throw a lot. I think Gibbs is going to run a lot. I think they'll do more than 12. I think it's going to be 14, 15, 20 points for Bama. I think they'll win this one soundly. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. Nothing crazy, no prime time. So I think Bama's going to win this one pretty soundly. Clemson, coming off of a loss to Notre Dame. I think Louisville's going to they're going to play it hard. They're going to hit them harder than people are thinking. I think that's why it's 7 points for the spread, which makes sense. But I think DJ is going to not play too well. I think this is going to be a bad game for DJ. I think Shipley will play amazing, but I think DJ will not play well. I think he could get pulled this game, and he could get benched again. And I think Klubnik's going to go in, and if he does, then Klubnik's going to win for them. If they keep DJ in the whole game, I think it's going to be closer to the game than it is, and I think Louisville might win. It all depends on how many picks and how DJ plays, because I know Shipley will play well, but if DJ can play well, then they'll win. So that's why I'm going to slightly give this 3 to 7 points for Clemson. That's why I can see why they have it at 7. But Clemson should win this one. If they don't, then it'll be interesting. 9 Bama, 8. Moving up to 8. 8 is USC, which is tomorrow or no? Yeah, Friday. Obviously going to kill Colorado. Colorado's terrible. I'm just going to call a spade. They're 1-8, 1-5 in the Pac-12. USC's going to throw it up on them. Caleb Williams has been playing well. Even though they have some little ups and downs for USC, they're going to play well. Their run game's doing great. Their receiving game with Addison's fantastic. Caleb Williams is great. They're going to go, honestly, up by 17, 18 points. I don't see 35. I mean, if they start scoring real fast in the beginning of the game, then yeah, I can see 35. But I could see it being 20 plus. 20 plus, bare minimum. So, USC on that one, easy. LSU at Arkansas. Arkansas is not terrible. They're not horrible. But LSU has been playing way better in the second half of the season than they did right in the beginning. Jaden Daniels has finally found a rhythm. Mason Taylor is one of their better tight ends, receivers, I think. Especially after the last game. I think LSU is going to win this one, obviously, by 7 to 10 points. I think a little more than what people are saying. I think LSU is a better team than what people are saying. So this could be interesting. But if Arkansas can establish a good run game, then it may be closer. And it could possibly be Arkansas's game. But we'll see. Number 6. It is Oregon. We're over that. Number 5 is Tennessee. They're going to be upset, I'm guessing, about that Georgia game. They are probably really pissed off. That whole that whole, Tennessee vibes, man. They're gonna be upset. Missouri is not ready for this game. It's noon. Tennessee fans are gonna be hyped. Hyatt's gonna go off again. I think Hooker's gonna go off again. Show his case why he should be in the front runner for Heisman. And I think they're gonna win by more than 20. I think they're gonna win by like 30. And Missouri's not ready for this one, but definitely Tennessee. 4 should be TCU. 3, Michigan. Michigan had a slow roll in the beginning of the game, and I think they've been doing that a lot. A real slow roll every beginning of the game. Second half, they've like outscored their teams like 100-something to 3 or some weird number like that. So Michigan is easily a second half team. It's like the polar opposite of what Texas is. Texas is this first half team and not pulling it out the second half. Michigan is a second half team and doing okay in the first half, but not doing like what they should, like every other top team should. But they're gonna run it up on Nebraska. I mean, Corum, Edwards, McCarthy gonna run everywhere. They're gonna receive. Their receiving game is gonna be fantastic. I think Michigan's just gonna run it up really badly on them. I think 30 plus is a great number for them. So Michigan easy on this one. Number 2, Ohio State, same damn principle. Indiana is not ready for this. Ohio State's going to run it up on them, 35 plus, just a little more, because I know Ohio State can score 40 plus, like they're having it here. CJ Stroud, man, amazing. The receiving game's amazing. The run game's amazing. Everything about Ohio State's great. So, I mean, except that Penn State game. So, Ohio State, I think, is going to run it up again. And then, of course, you got Georgia. Now, this one could be a little closer than people are thinking. It's in Mississippi State, but Mississippi State, when they played Bama, bad news. Will Rogers played bad. I don't know why there's no picture for Will Rogers. That's a little weird. I don't know. Anyway, that's a little odd. But I think, you can see that air raid offense. Look at that. Where's it at? I want to see his numbers again. It's like gross. God. Yeah, 400 attempts. He's only made 3. Oh, man, that's about 70-ish%. That's insane. Man, that's weird. 439. I guess that's leech for you guys. But Georgia's going to run it up on them. 16 is a good number because it's not too much, not too little. So I think 16 is a nice round well number. But Georgia's still going to win this one, I think. Even though it's in Mississippi State, it'll be a close one, or it won't be a close one. But sorry for all that, like kind of back and forth. I'm just been a little tired. So, but that's the top 25 games for Week 11. We'll see how everything goes, and I'll be back with the breakdowns later in the week. All right, peace out.